Happy New Year, everyone. Glad everybody can make it. You too, John. Glad you can make it. Got the microphone fixed. So we're in good shape. We're off to a good start in 2025, baby. All right, here's the injury updates for you here. So TB will not practice today. DeMar Hamlin, Curtis Samuel, Cam Lewis, and Taylor Rapp all will be limited today. And so from there, the time is yours.
What is Terrell dealing with?
A leg, like a quad, to be more specific. Yeah.
And that happened during the game.
Yes. Yeah.
Sean, we asked you earlier in the year, talked earlier about the way you were going to mentor Bobby as he goes through his first season as the coordinator calling signals. It's a unique situation because you're on the headset listening as he's trying to make mistakes and learn as he goes. How has the way you have mentored and maybe also managed the defense changed from week one now to the end of the season?
Yeah, great question. It's kind of ebbed and flowed, I would say. My goal is ultimately to just, to be the head coach. Certainly it's my background of the defense, but, to allow Bobby and the staff to really do their thing. And, just in Bobby's first year, I think he's done a good job. I really do. I think he continues to learn and grow. And same thing with us as a defensive staff. We've got some new coaches that have joined us this year. And I think there's been some, like the journey of any season, really good moments, really, really high highs, and then some things that, we're learning along the way. So I think it's kind of like anything else with the team is I kind of try and feel where I'm needed most and fit in there and try and add some wisdom and thoughts overall. So, but again, I thought this past week was one of our better games defensively this season, and that improvement over the last couple of weeks. I know sometimes the scoreboard didn't reflect that, but when you look at what we were able to do at Detroit in the run game and take that away, which was a monumental challenge for us. And then in New England after that, some really good moments there as well, but some things that were left out there, right? Just in terms of the level of detail and some of the third downs in particular in that game. And then this past week, I thought first down and then the pass situations, the one-dimensional third downs late in the game, being able to, really close the game out. So I'm seeing signs of improvement. We're seeing signs of improvement. And it just takes time sometimes. And so it's a challenge every week. It'll be a different challenge this week, but overall, the last 3 weeks, I've seen incremental signs of improvement.
Sean, you've been around Cam Newton during his MVP season back in 2015. What kind of similarities do you see about the way he performed, the way he led, to what Josh has done this year?
Yeah, the performance is similar, but in different ways. Cam's influence, and his playmaking ability, similar to Josh's in the terms of some of the, just taking over a game or some of the wow plays individually within a game, in different ways, though, in their own way, in terms of the kind of the artistry of Cam, the artistry of Josh. So a lot of similarities just in terms of the impact, I would say, overall that they've had on the team.
Bernard, how do you kind of are looking at that injury week to week, day to day? Do you have that kind of info yet?
He will not play this week. I can tell you that, unless we have a situation where, we're just down in players. But right now, he would not play this week. He will not play this week. I really don't know if he was healthy enough, would he be able to go? Possibly. So it's probably somewhere between day to day and week to week, more like day to day. That's just non-medical, Matt, in this case for me.
And then with Joe Andreessen coming in, I can't remember if you were asked about this on Monday, so I apologize. But how have you seen him handle as a rookie, a guy that was a tryout player all those months ago, handle the special teams role, and then now maybe a little bit more of a role, especially maybe as soon as Sunday?
He's done a phenomenal job. And I think at the start of the season, if you go back to the tryout camp when he was here, I vividly remember seeing the back of his jersey, and the numbers don't even matter. I mean, sometimes the linebacker's wearing, I can't remember what number Joe was wearing, because you're just given any number at the, you know, Jeff Mazurek has his methodology for that camp, right? Because you've got, you know, rookies that are drafted, you've got undrafted free agents, rookie free agents that we have for that camp, and then you have this other third of tryout players who are just trying to make it through. I mean, really, we give them 2 days maybe to make an impact and to get noticed. And I remember vividly Joe, I think it was on the second day, because what we do after the first day is, hey, coaches, who do you think has a chance that maybe Brandon and I in the personnel department need to put our eyes on specifically in day 2 or practice 2? And Joe was one of them. And so, you know, we watched, I watched, Brandon watched, his staff watched, and then you're saying, hey, is this player better than what we have, or maybe what's out there? And, you know, you're never sure where it's going to go. And so in Joe's case, look what it's led to. And I think some people thought early on it was a nice PR thing, right? And that's certainly been cool, I would say, for Joe, for our team, for the city. I mean, you hear it when he makes a tackle the other day in the game, the crowd loves it, right? So the PA announcer loves it too. So it's cool. But Joe's earned every last piece of it. He'll play quite a bit this week, and I'm excited to watch him. I really am. He's a good football player.
Another
Give
rookie.
him the honor of like being captain this past week. Like, is that one of those cool things to reward a guy like that who's playing special teams, and what would it take out of it?
Yeah, I mean, the way we do it is week to week on Thursday afternoons. We have a staff meeting, coaching staff meeting, and the coaches nominate who they would like to have as captain to lead their side of the ball. Coach Smiley and Coach Harkey nominated Joe, and you know, I get final say. Very rarely do I, you know, veto a person who's nominated, and you know, in this case, it was justified, and he actually did. He called, you know, he did the talking out there for us at the coin toss as well. So it just shows you, I think, more than anything, how much his teammates respect him, how much the coaches respect him, and the trust that we have in him.
Another rookie, Cole, through his performance, while DeMar's been down, do you feel he's maybe earned a more significant role as he's filled these past few weeks, even if and when DeMar comes back? Yeah,
We'll see on that. I've been very, very pleased with his improvement over the 4 game span. I think it's been 4 total, right? So, and then just this morning, I was close to him in the meeting, and he's there taking good notes. He's on his laptop, or whatever you call them these days, iPads or what have you, and he's, you know, diligently taking notes, and that's part of the process that leads to what happens on game days, and that's over the last 3 games. That's what we've seen, and I mentioned before, give the credit to Joe. To Joe Dana, to Cole certainly, and then Mike has been in the mix as well. And we've got a lot of veteran players that are trying to you know, help some of these young guys as well develop.
Sean, what to you is the significance of having 13 players score at least 1 touchdown receiving and matching a single season record?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for all those guys, and Shaves was the latest one, right? And so the story behind that, and then I just think it speaks to the unselfish nature of our football team, and then Josh. You know, I don't think he's going out of his way to do that. I think he's just throwing the ball where his reads are taking him. Bless you. So, I think that's the best way to play the position, and he's done it extremely well this year.
How much, in terms of your younger assistants, quality control, how much work do they do this week on your future opponents so you and your coordinators can hit the ground on Monday?
Yep, they do a ton. They really do. We've got good resources in-house that try and work ahead all season long, and they have this grid of week to week who they're breaking down, and they try and stay out, you know, probably 2 or 3 or 4 weeks at a time, chipping away at it through the season, and then you get to this time of year, and that's kind of, you know, put in the wastebasket, and then you're focusing in on, you know, in our case, potentially 3 teams that we might play, as well as getting ready for this week. So just trying to take it 1 game at a time overall as a team, and then those guys have the kind of the periscope out, trying to make sure that they're looking ahead here.
If needed, do you feel that Vaughn could perhaps fulfill a more significant role in terms of snap share if needed come postseason time?
We'll see. Again, it's about the rotation that we're trying to get ourselves into, and we've had some injuries, and I think now we're getting guys back. And this week we're going to take a look at some guys as well. Again, inside more so than outside. But we'll see as we move forward. I do think that AJ, Greg, Smoot, those guys are doing some good things as well. So, everything in moderation, I guess, overall.
I don't want to call this a preseason type of game, but you are evaluating, and as you said, some players that you want to see. What is on the line, and what do you want to get out of this game?
Well, number one, we want to win the game. That's goal number one. Two is making sure we're as fresh as possible coming out of this week and healthy as possible. And man, I sure wish we could get every practice squad player up for this game, and just the numbers don't allow that, right? So, but those players, all the practice squad players that you guys see out there every week, they bust their butts, they work extremely hard, and they deserve, they've earned really the right, all of them, to play this week. It's a shame that they can't play due to the number count. So, I just, other than that, I think it's hey, trying to win the game, stay with our process, being consistent with how we approach each and every week, and wanting to see some things out there that we're anxious to see and eager to see and curious to see, quite frankly, of how certain players take advantage of the opportunity.
Taking that a step further with some of these players who are non-starters, practice squad guys who will get opportunities this week, what do you see in terms of the work that they put in that we don't see that makes you really enjoy the opportunity that these guys are going to get on Sunday?
Oh boy, like I said, Maddie, I mean, I would say our practice squad, probably more than any year, and they always do a good job, but probably more so than any season, has just been really good and really consistent in terms of embracing their role, which, and we talk every year at the start of the season of, your role is, number one, is to serve the team, and then number two, it's your career, right, in terms of your development. And that goes in terms of, hey, developing for next season, but also if your number's called this year. So it's kind of what we ask of them is to be very unselfish, but also continue to work on their game, because you never know when your number's going to get called, and that came up multiple times this season. So they've just done a phenomenal job, offensively, defensively. The guys that have helped out. I mean, we've got some defensive players that are playing offense when we're down on numbers to run wide receiver routes. You've got some offensive guys that are playing defense to give us the look that Josh and the offense need. These guys are guys that are used to being, the guys, right? So it takes a special type of person.
Yesterday,
Once Josh does exit the game, as you said, that would happen, do you have a plan yet that you'd be willing to share at this point, if it was just Mitch or Mitch and Mike in the game on Sunday?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, it'll be Mitch at least, and I think we're in a position where it's going to be hard for us to get Mike, but we're still talking about it. Again, just the constraint due to the numbers and the elevations, yeah. So, but Mitch will be out there for the majority of the reps.
it's been 7 years since you made the playoffs that first year, ending that long playoff drought. Could you reflect maybe on that day and how far the franchise has come since that point?
Yeah, my wife showed me the video last night again of Kyle's touchdown and then the celebration, and I had not forgotten all of it, but just kind of the little threads that happened that day. I remember Deontay Thompson was not sure we were sure if he was going to play, so I go to the stadium early to kind of help him work out or watch him and evaluate, and then he, tough as nails, and he was the one that helped us win the snow game against the Colts earlier that year, and he's yelling to me, he's yelling, "Palm trees, coach." This is before the Colts game, because we had talked about the palm trees that grow around here. Maybe you guys don't see them, but they're all over the place. And so he plays in that game, which is a true sign of grit and toughness. You know, we get up early. Kyle has that, you know, first, I think Nick O'Leary had the first touchdown maybe, and Kyle had the second perhaps there. And then it got tight at the end, and I think it was Jordan Poyer made the maybe game-sealing interception. And during the game, I was getting updates from Matt Worswick, who's one of my assistants, and who does a phenomenal job. And he was, because I think we needed, I couldn't remember last night, I was going back with my wife and saying, hey, I know we needed Cincinnati to win, but there was another team that we were hoping, and it was, I think one of the two would have gotten us in if we won. And during the game, I think both were going in our favor, and then all of a sudden the one changed, and then we were down to Cincinnati in the Baltimore game there. So we win the game against Miami. We get in the locker room, and I knew there was a couple minutes left, and so we turned the TV on, and you know, just sitting back watching it again last night, man, I started tearing up. I tried not let my wife see me, but I had like a tear running down my cheek here. And I mean, when's the last time you've seen a locker room react like that? I don't think I've seen it since then, quite honestly. And then she was just telling me how the fans were up, that were there, were trying to get up into the suites to watch the televisions in the suites, and to watch that reaction. And I remember hearing there's video of Kyle Williams' wife and kids, and then the locker room shot with Kyle and his kids, and I had one with my son in the locker room who came in afterwards and just giving him a big hug and getting off the plane, right? My first introduction to really, you know, being, you know, down and deep with Bill's Mafia and that type of celebration, and Deion's coming off the plane, his first year here as well. And it's just been that was an amazing first year. And then where we've come since then is also been significant, I would say. So real happy and real grateful for it. All right, thanks guys.